Alex, sometimes I feel like friendships in adulthood are different. Like the way we connect now, it's not as easy or natural as when we were teenagers. Have you felt that too?
Oh, absolutely, Emma. It's like suddenly everyone's busy with work, relationships, maybe kids, and finding time to just hang out feels rare. I used to be able to call my friends and meet up anytime, but now it's like scheduling a mini conference.
Exactly. And it's not just about being busy. There's this subtle shift where friendships feel heavier, almost more intentional, in a good way, but also a little daunting. It makes you think, do I really need to put in this effort?
I know what you mean. I think in our 20s, friendships were more spontaneous. You met someone at a party or class, and bam, instant best friend. Now it feels like you have to invest so much emotional energy to maintain even a simple connection. But the funny thing is, that effort makes the friendships that last feel richer.
Oh, yes. I read somewhere that adult friendships are like plants. You have to water them, give them sunlight, and sometimes just talk to them so they don't wither away. It's poetic, but also painfully true.
That's such a great analogy. And sometimes I wonder if that's why we get so nostalgic about old friends. Like, we remember how effortless it felt, and we forget that even then, friendships needed care. But it's just that the effort was disguised as fun.
Absolutely. And there's also this thing about quality over quantity. I used to have, 20 friends I'd see regularly. Now, maybe 5 or 6 people truly make me feel energized, not drained. And honestly, that's liberating in a way.
Totally. I used to feel guilty about losing touch with people, but now I realize that it's natural. People grow in different directions. Some friendships fade, and some deepen, and that's okay. It's part of the process of becoming who we are.
Yeah, and speaking of growing, I think adulthood brings more self-awareness. I know myself better, so I can recognize which friendships lift me up and which ones, well, quietly sap my energy. It's like emotional efficiency.
I love that term, emotional efficiency, and it's so true. It's not about cutting people off, but choosing how to spend your limited social energy wisely. Honestly, sometimes just spending an hour with a friend who really understands me is more satisfying than a whole weekend with people I barely connect with.
Exactly. And, there's another layer now, shared life experiences. I mean, you and I talk about parenting, career challenges, maybe even health stuff. Those conversations are richer because they come from lived experience. I feel like that's what makes adult friendships uniquely comforting.
Yes, I remember when I started a new job last year, I was so stressed. I called an old friend and we just vented for an hour. And that hour? Priceless. It wasn't about making plans or laughing at memes, it was real support. That's something I didn't always value in my 20s.
Absolutely. And I think another thing that makes adult friendships feel different is vulnerability. I feel like it's scarier to be truly vulnerable now, but when you do, it deepens the connection immensely. You can't just hang out over pizza and call it a day. You have to show up fully, emotionally.
Yes, and that's tricky, isn't it? Because it's also a little intimidating. You think, what if I open up and they don't respond the way I hope? But when it works, it's magical. And sometimes those moments make you realize the friend you thought you knew is someone you can really rely on.
Totally. I also think the pandemic gave us a crash course in adult friendship. Suddenly, all our old routines vanished. You had to actively reach out, check in, make time, even when it was inconvenient. And honestly, I think a lot of friendships either solidified or fizzled during that time.
Oh, for sure. I learned who my true friends were. I had friends I hadn't spoken to in years, and we just fell back into conversation as if no time had passed. But there were also friendships that quietly disappeared, and that was hard, but maybe necessary.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a pattern in adult life. Life changes fast, and friendships evolve along with it. Some friends match your rhythm, some don't. And the ones that stick are the ones that fit into your life naturally, not forcefully.
I love that phrasing, fit into your life naturally. And it brings me to something I've noticed. Adult friendships are more about mutual respect than constant presence. You don't have to text every day or see each other weekly to know someone's a friend. It's the quality of the moments, not the quantity.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. And that's such a relief, right? It's like adult friendship finally comes with permission to breathe. You don't have to prove your loyalty through constant check-ins. It's built on trust and understanding.
Exactly. And speaking of trust, I realized something funny. I don't mind asking for favors now. When I was younger, I'd hesitate to ask for anything, worried it might annoy someone. But now, if someone is a true friend, they understand that friendship is give and take.
Oh, totally. And I feel like the give and take concept is an essential expression for adults to understand about friendship. It's not selfish to set boundaries. It's actually healthy. You can't pour from an empty cup, right?
Absolutely. And on that note, Emma, have you noticed how adult friendships often come with shared rituals? Like it might be a Sunday brunch, a yearly trip, or even just a coffee every other month. These small traditions become anchors in our busy lives, and they're surprisingly comforting.
Yes, and those traditions, no matter how simple, carry emotional weight. It's funny how a small weekly phone call can feel like a lifeline when life gets messy. I treasure those moments more than I did the spontaneous hangouts of my youth.
And here's a little tip for listeners, something I learned recently. Don't underestimate the power of a simple message. I've started sending short, thinking of you texts to friends I don't see often, and it's incredible how it keeps the connection alive. You'd be surprised how much it brightens someone's day.
Absolutely, Alex. And it's a reminder that friendship is not just about big gestures. Little acts of thoughtfulness, checking in, sending a meme that reminded you of them, sharing a song, those tiny things maintain bonds that might otherwise fade away.
I couldn't agree more. And something else I've noticed is that adult friendships sometimes require forgiveness more than before. People make mistakes, miss events, or unintentionally hurt you. Learning to forgive and understand life's complexities is key to sustaining long-term friendships.
That's such a great point. And it makes me think of this one friend I had in my late 20s. We drifted apart because of a misunderstanding, but years later, we reconnected, and our friendship is even stronger now because we both grew, both learned, and both let go of the past.
Oh, I love that. And it brings up another thing, patience. Adult friendships require patience because everyone is juggling so much. Waiting for someone to respond or finding a time to meet might feel frustrating, but it's part of respecting each other's lives.
Yes, and I feel like we often forget that. We want instant results, like everything else in our lives. But friendships are not instant noodles. They take time, care, and sometimes slow simmering to reach their full flavor.
I love that metaphor. And another thing that makes adult friendships unique is how they reflect our personal growth. Sometimes we grow together, sometimes we grow apart, and both are natural. It's not failure, it's evolution.
Exactly, Alex. And I think that's the most comforting thing. Adult friendships aren't just about fun. They're mirrors, sounding boards, and sometimes even gentle challenges that push us to be better versions of ourselves.
Yes, and one thing I try to do is remind myself to celebrate the friendships I have instead of mourning the ones that faded. I've realized that every friendship leaves a mark, and the ones that last become part of my life story.
I love that perspective. And I want to tell our listeners, if you're enjoying this conversation, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We also have a PDF where you can find this full conversation and a vocabulary list with expressions we mentioned today. So check it out if you want to learn some practical English while reflecting on your own friendships.
Yes, it's a handy tool, especially if you're thinking about how to connect with your own friends. And speaking of expressions, I wanted to point out a few we use naturally today. Emotional efficiency, for example, means using your energy wisely in relationships. Give and take is about mutual support. Pour from an empty cup reminds us we need to care for ourselves first. And fit into your life naturally is about effortless compatibility.
Those are great examples. And I'd add slow simmering as a metaphor for patience in friendships. It's fun to use, and it really captures how connections develop over time.
Absolutely. And thinking practically, I'd say one way to nurture friendships as adults is simply to be intentional. Reach out, check in, make time, and don't wait for perfect moments. Perfection rarely comes, but effort always counts.
Yes. And another thing I've learned is to embrace vulnerability. Share your challenges, joys, and everyday thoughts. It's scary sometimes, but that's where real connection happens.
And don't forget gratitude. Tell your friends you appreciate them. It's simple, but it goes a long way. And in a world where everyone's busy, a little appreciation can be magical.
Definitely. And I'd also encourage everyone to celebrate the small wins in friendship. Catching up after months, a funny shared memory, a coffee date. Those small moments are actually huge.
Exactly. And one last piece of advice I'd give is to let go of guilt. If a friendship fades, it doesn't mean you're failing. Life changes. People change. Some connections are seasonal, some are lifetime. Recognize the value in both.
Beautifully said, Alex. And that's really the essence of adult friendships. They're dynamic, evolving, sometimes challenging, but ultimately rewarding. They reflect our growth, support our journey, and remind us that even in a busy, complicated world, human connection remains essential.
Yes, and for anyone listening, take a moment today to reach out to a friend. Send that text, make that call, plan that coffee. It doesn't have to be monumental. Small efforts matter more than you think.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, friendships in adulthood are about choosing each other over and over again, despite life's chaos. And that choice, that intentional effort, is what makes them so precious.
Couldn't agree more. And for me, it's a reminder to treasure the friends I have and to be present in their lives because time is limited, but connection, that lasts forever.
Yes, and if our listeners take anything from this conversation, I hope it's that adult friendships are worth the effort. They may require patience, intentionality, and a little vulnerability, but they are deeply enriching and truly life-changing.
Absolutely. And let's not forget to enjoy the journey. Laugh, share stories, be silly sometimes. Friendships aren't just support systems, they're also sources of joy, adventure, and inspiration.
Exactly, Alex. So let's all make a little space in our busy lives for the people who matter. Nurture those bonds, celebrate them, and never take them for granted. Because friendships, at any age, are one of life's greatest treasures.
Perfectly said, Emma. Here's to adult friendships. The messy, beautiful, challenging, and ultimately amazing relationships that shape our lives.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Here's to choosing friends, showing up, and appreciating every moment we have together. Cheers to that.
Cheers indeed. And remember, it's never too late to reconnect, deepen, or even start new friendships. They're worth every bit of effort.
Absolutely. So to everyone listening, reach out to someone today. Share a laugh, a memory, or just a simple thinking of you. Trust me, it will make both of you feel a little lighter, a little happier, and a lot more connected.
And that's the beauty of adult friendships, isn't it? Life keeps moving fast, but meaningful connections give it depth, color, and joy. So cherish them, nurture them, and let them enrich your life in ways you never imagined.
Yes, and with that, let's leave our listeners with this thought. Friendships in adulthood may feel different, but they are uniquely rewarding, deeply fulfilling, and worth every moment of effort we put into them.
Perfect way to wrap it up, Emma. Here's to friendship in all its forms, stages, and adventures.
Cheers to that, Alex. And to everyone out there. Don't forget, your friends are your chosen family, and the love and laughter you share with them are priceless.